It's a bummer that it's not called Ultra. It could be Race Rebel Ultra. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. I hope you're all doing great. I'm doing really good. I just returned to Brussels after being away for the World Championships in Switzerland. Again, shoe reviews. We have many shoes that need to be reviewed soon on the channel. And today we are beginning with the Craft CTM Carbon Race Rebel. Remember, we already reviewed the CTM Ultra on the channel. I'm gonna put a link here, upper right hand corner. Go check it if you haven't seen that video. It was a very fun one. We discovered something inside the shoe. I'm not saying more, you can go check it. Today we have the Craft CTM Carbon Race Rebel. Quick disclaimer, this shoe was sent to me by Craft for my review. I'm not being paid to review the shoe, and Craft is not checking the video or anything else before I'm publishing it. So, you know, it's all very transparent, and I'm gonna say what I think about the shoe as always. So, you know, you may think, okay, I already reviewed the CTM Ultra. What's the difference? And we're gonna come back to that. But first of all, specs, we are looking at a pretty light shoe at 247 grams in my size US 11 EU 45. 247, keep that in mind. This is for the weight. Durometer number, I know you're all waiting for this. We have an EVA midsole, different from the CTM Ultra, but EVA in that 32-33 ballpark on the durometer scale. It's quite low for EVA. Remember, sometimes we have PIBA midsoles in that high 20s, even low 30s for the Zoom X, for instance. So 32-33 is a low score, and it seems to indicate something soft in terms of ride. We'll see if that translates in subjective feelings, but at least that's the idea. Width of the platform, it's a very wide platform in the forefoot, more than 119 millimeters, if I remember well, but you have the numbers on your screen. So very wide in the forefoot, and actually quite wide as well in the heel. Midfoot isn't that wide, but no issues whatsoever in terms of fit. This is my true to size US 11. The platform is wide, but so is also the fit. The fit is wide, accommodating, and people with wider feet will be very happy with this shoe. This is a good segue for the upper. The upper is a very thin, breathable mesh. It's, I think, one of the thinnest meshes I have tested this year, if I remember well. The one on the CTM Ultra was also very thin, very breathable, same fashion. I think here you have even more little holes in it to allow for a better breathability. And yeah, the upper is really fantastic. Very soft, as you can see, very pliable. Nothing to hold it actually. Even the toe bumper here isn't really a bumper and doesn't help to keep the volume of the toe box higher, but you have tons of volume, tons of room. The upper is a bit collapsing on your feet, but it's so light that you don't really feel it. And from that perspective, it's great. So wider fit, perfect. Lengthwise, remember the translation between US sizes and EU sizes with Craft are a bit different. So stick to your US size. This is my US 11, and I'm just gonna check here quickly. Yes, it's EU 44.5. So, you know, the conversion between the two sizing systems is a bit different here. Stick with your US size and you are gonna be perfectly fine. The tongue is great. I mean, it's the type of tongue that I really appreciate, Mach 4 type of tongue. If you remember, I really appreciated the tongue of the Hoka Mach 4. So here you have the same type of, you know, very light padding, nothing too restrictive, nothing too invasive on your feet. No gusset here, but you don't really need one. And the lockdown, despite having all that suppleness, all that flex in the upper, is good. Just good in the midfoot, very good in the heel, despite here again having, you know, tons of flexibility, tons of give to the heel. I'm actually very surprised to have a very good lockdown here. And this was not the case for me on the CTM Ultra, but this was half a size up for me. This is my true to size, and the lockdown in the heel is great. I was a bit surprised because it wasn't that good when I was walking with the shoe around the house, but then running in it, you know, nothing to complain about, and just perfect lockdown, and good lockdown also in the midfoot, but not too constrictive. So you know, if you like to have a bit of looseness here in the forefoot, in the midfoot, if you have wide fit, this is quite interesting for you. And so was actually the CTM Ultra, but this is also the case here on the CTM Carbon Race Rebel. This is for the upper. Yeah, laces are way too long, and this is one of the drawbacks of the shoe, which doesn't have many, but this is one of them. Midsole, it's a different midsole, and the inside of the midsole, actually what's being hidden in there, it's written here, carbon plate inside. I don't know if you can see it. It's written here, carbon plate inside, and yes, there is a carbon plate in the shoe, which is one of the major differences between this shoe, the CTM Race Rebel, and the CTM Ultra. Carbon plate and the foam is a bit different. This is the UD Foam Pro, an EVA compound, but lighter and a little bit softer than the Volfoam, EVA Volfoam on the CTM Ultra. So these are the two main differences. Of course, one major difference as well is the stack height. We're looking at 35 millimeters in the heel and 11 millimeters of drop, which is 1 extra millimeter, if I remember well, compared to the CTM Ultra. 11 millimeters for that 24 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot. And the 11 millimeters of drop are very enjoyable. You know how much I like 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters. This is 11, and I actually really like how, you know, it uses a bit more my midfoot, maybe even heel striking pattern, especially at lower paces. But the transition is great. That adds a bit of stability, I think, also to the shoe, having that 11 millimeters of drop. So very interesting here. And it's a bit lower drop compared to the CTM Ultra, which also helps reducing the weight. By the way, reducing the weight, one of the techniques that Craft used is also putting a very different insole, whatever you call it, inside. This one is very simple, very simple, 13 grams, whereas on the CTM Ultra, wait a second, we had that very thick TPU bubbled type of insert, 44 grams, if I remember well from the measurements. So, you know, almost 30 grams of difference between the two. The overall difference of weight between the two shoes is 50 grams. So you already have, you know, 60% covered in the of weight difference covered in the insert, and then the remaining percents are, I think, due to the stack height, lower stack height. It's a bummer that it's not called Ultra. It could be Race Rebel Ultra, because I really think this is designed for longer distances. And the thing that comes to mind when I'm running with this shoe is A, great stability, no constrictive, you know, feeling over the foot with that very loosey upper. And the shoe can go on and on and on. You can run for miles in it without feeling any soreness, any pain, of course, but even any fatigue. It's really a shoe that is designed for longer distances, longer runs, even longer races, like, you know, 50Ks, maybe 100Ks for people doing ultra races like that on the road, and even on lighter trails. We'll come back to the outsole in a second. But really, you know, soft cushion, nothing too plush, a little bit softer compared to the CTM Ultra here. And yeah, really a shoe that can go the distance. So fantastically interesting from that perspective. The carbon plate, I will be honest with you, doesn't add much impact on the ride compared to the CTM Ultra, which did not have a carbon plate in it. It's, you know, it's a pretty flexible forefoot, and you don't have that very explosive type of propulsion in the toe of phase due to the carbon plate here. I think, you know, it helps reducing a bit the fatigue, and it helps a bit providing that lever type of sensation in the ride of the shoe, but it's not a super shoe when talking about the carbon plate effect. It's here, I think it's playing a role, but it's a minor role. And for people who are, you know, hesitating between the CTM Ultra and the Race Rebel, the carbon plate should not be the major decisive factor to pull the trigger on one of the two shoes. Other factors may be like the stack height, like a colorway maybe. But I think, you know, the carbon plate, the addition of the carbon plate is not a decisive factor if you're about to choose between the two shoes. Outsole, very quickly, it's, you know, tons of rubber, tons of grip. You can go on light trails with the shoe, no issues. I did that in the south of France a couple days ago, and it works really, really well. So I think the durability will be very good. And overall, you know, Craft is known for the build quality and that stuff. And here you really have it. You have the build quality, you have that fantastic outsole, durable, so no issues here. Stability of the shoe is also very good. That's due to the wide heel. That's also due to the 11mm drop. And a good lockdown in the heel, I'm gonna say it. Despite that very, very loosey-goosey heel with a lot of give to it, it has a good, very good stability. So people looking for a stable ride in a plated shoe or in a, you know, long distance shoe, it's really an option. Drawback, and that's also the conclusion, the price, $250, 250 euros. I think it's a bit too much compared to the 160 for the CTM Ultra. Most people will be better off, or at least could consider the CTM Ultra as a good option, a good alternative to the Carbon Race Rebel. You know, if you're really into longer distances and you want to have that little addition of the carbon plates, maybe the difference is worth being considered. But other than that, I think 250 is a bit too steep, or not just a bit, is too steep for this shoe. And I would see it more in the 200, maybe 210 ballpark, but 250 is too much, especially when considering the not so dramatic differences between the two shoes. This one being priced at $160, 160 euros, if I remember well. So yeah, this is my main drawback with this one. But yeah, I enjoy the ride of it. I enjoy going longer distances with this shoe, even at a bit higher paces, like you saw in the footage on the track. So yeah, good job, Crafts. Maybe the price is a bit of an issue here. If you want to get the shoe with a little discount, you can of course use the code in the description, or even here, maybe I'll remember to put a link to our EU partner, Top for Running. They have the shoe and you can get it with a little discount, which is great given the higher price point. This is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Enjoy your run today if you're going to run, your ride on the bike. Go beyond your limits, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye-bye.